Good morning, everyone. Happy Friday. I'm the Great Strega, and I'm here to give you your daily collective read for today, Friday, February 7th, 2025. What do we have coming through in the cards for today? Can I have the first two cards in our 5-card spread? First two cards we are starting our day off with today are... Yeah, I'm not surprised to see this right now. Okay, we've got here our 10 of Pentacles in its reversal, in combination with our 3 of Swords in its upright. A heart that hurts is a heart that's healing. A heart that hurts is a heart that's healing. I know you don't want to hear that. I know you don't want to hear that. I know it probably brings up a lot of feelings. It could bring up rage. It could bring up sadness, right? It could bring up grief. But this is going, I told you, this is going to be a very healing full moon, particularly for the heart space. But it's got to hurt to heal. I know it sucks. I know it sucks. But that's like, that ability of recognizing that when we honor our journey, we understand that is where we put the compassion. Right? We put compassion in those places that are hard to put compassion in, right? We work in, and I was telling you guys, this journey that we've been experiencing right now with the Mars retrograde. It's warrior energy. I'm going to say it again. Warriors don't want to fight. I haven't been telling you this whole time. It's been fighter energy. Warriors are not fighters. Warriors don't want to fight. Warrior is the honorific we give someone who has fought, and they navigate the lessons so that they do not have to fight again, right? A warrior does not seek battle, but a warrior is always battle ready. A warrior navigates not from a place of fear, because and it doesn't mean that the warrior is fearless, but the warrior embraces their fear and they allow that sense of wisdom to guide them forward. It's painful, right? Like, it's a lot of that work and the aspect of the fact that love will break your heart in the process. We work in these spaces. So, and this is having, and I want to, this is what I'm going to tell you right now. I do not want you feeling sorry for yourself right now. And I am not saying that in a way to diminish how you're feeling. I'm not saying that to diminish the pain that you're experiencing. I'm saying that because literally I am worried. I am concerned that a lot of the amplification that we're going to potentially feel with that heart expansion that we often experience during Leo full moon cycles, right? And a little bit, I'm telling you right now, like a bit of this Venus and Aries energy in that retrograde pre-shadow period, right? It can on top of the Uranus and Taurus, it can feel, when we are being too hard on ourselves, we shine a really hard light on ourselves, right? And so this may some of the work, like, while I keep saying that this full moon in Leo could be beautiful and profound as it relates to healing the heart space by coming to terms and honoring how one feels, right? I see a lot of apologies. I see a lot of forgiveness. I see a lot of heartfelt conversations. I can also see that if one is moving too much from the space of over concentration on the self, it can create a lot of this feeling of being too hard on the self, right? Of feeling that weight that often we experience that says, I don't have the strength to feel this. You are stronger. You are stronger than you know. And I want you, and if you're feeling that, I want you to think back on any of those experiences in the past where you said to yourself, this is it. I can't feel this anymore. And I want you to compare that to where you are now. Because this type of energy here, it's a type of healing that feels like it'll, like, the journey of self-understanding is one that frequently feels like it breaks our heart in the process. But it's often in those moments that we experience those moments that we realize how much we care, right? Like how much of, like, that's why we kept talking about the fact that healthy shadow work is not one that you run towards your fear full tilt, right? It's one that you embrace your fear, because what is the fear always saying? I love something and I'm scared, right? That's what the fear is always saying. I love something and I'm scared, right? So we're going to be working in a lot of that space right now. But again, you are, like I keep on getting, you are stronger. You are stronger. The force of love is stronger than the force of fear. So I want you to hold on to that as you continue forward right now. Now, this is having a different impact depending on where you find yourselves on the frequency cycles. I told you right now, and I keep on getting Scorpio is here to help, right? Like Scorpio, I got to keep checking on this because I keep on hearing for the energy and separation right now. Scorpio is here to help. And I think the reason I keep on hearing Scorpio is here to help has to do with the fact that we had the Pluto moving out of Capricorn into Aquarius, right? Because when I just see if there is energy right now in separation, going through a grieving process, what is Scorpio energy saying to the energy in separation in the conversation between the self and the higher self, right? Right? I can almost hear that conversation. The conversation over the last few days has been thus, right? Talking to the higher self saying, I don't want to feel this way. And the higher self says, yeah, I know. And then we say, when do we stop feeling this? And what does the higher self say? We never stop feeling anything. Like our journey is not one where we stop feeling things. There are things that they're like the places that we hurt. We build, I keep on hearing the places that we hurt, we build altars. The places where we hurt, that's where we put the altar. We honor that, right? We remember that. It becomes the thing that protects us moving forward. So a lot of that energy here, right, working in that space, I see that energy like almost coming through that frustration. There's that Uranus and Taurus that says, that makes me upset. I don't want that, right? I wish I didn't feel this way, right? Like that pushback that we often have, right? And because that's the energy that says we start feeling other things, right? And here comes I keep on hearing, here comes Scorpio, like wedging into that conversation to ask the vital question that's helping others identify and recognize the direction that they're moving towards going forward, which is, are you holding on to something because it was everything that you dreamed it would be? Or are you holding on to something because the dream never became a reality, right? And if this is the energy that says, I'm holding on to it because the dream never became a reality, what does Scorpio say? So why are you so committed to the fact that that had to be the dream, right? Why are you, like, there's a lot of that, right? And in that moment, that's why I keep on hearing the higher self say, we don't let go of anything. We open our arms wider. And this is what we see is occurring right now for a lot of that energy coming into divine union during this time. Because as I mentioned, I keep on getting the same energy. I keep on getting for the energy coming into coming into divine union. My hands are full. I don't know what to do with my hands. My hands are full. I don't know what to do with my hands, because there's something really beautiful about that journey that I'm seeing, where something from the past is starting to make a lot of sense in the context of the present. This is why we say closure is never found in going backwards. It's found in going forward, because when we go forward and we find the things that we're looking for, we suddenly understand why we couldn't find them in the places that we were looking previous to this. So a lot of that work, I can just see, I feel like I can see a lot of energy that's actively it's like, oh no, a new wave of healing, because it's having to reopen something. Because you're looking at and that's why I keep on seeing some energy going, ow, because the perception of the self in the present, it's not that something stopped hurting, it's that something now hurts in a different way. It's like when we come into a healing space, it's like, oh, now it's a different kind of hurt, right? There's something to be navigated there. Right? It's like, it's recognizing something that you didn't see before. Sometimes it energetically stings. And I keep on getting a sense, I keep on hearing, for a lot of the energy coming into divine union, the sacred wound has become itchy. Because when we, that's the cringe in seeing something that you couldn't see before, right? It's almost like an amplification that something is healed, because it's like, ooh, While for masculine and feminine energy, deep within divine union. I'm going to say this with all the love in my heart. You got to chill out. You got to be easy on yourself. It is a marathon, not a race. And I keep on seeing that something about like working through the frustration of things, like working through, like I keep seeing there's a lot of energy deep within divine union working on, it feels like an expansion point, but we can be really, I'll put it this way. Sometimes when things feel like they're falling apart, they're actually coming together, right? Sometimes it's in those moments. And this is why I kept on saying, like, and I keep on getting, don't lash out right now. Lock in, right? I keep on seeing that, like, there's a little bit of this energy right now that's like it's like wanting to put your, like, I keep on saying, like, wanting to put your fist through a wall. And I'm saying, like, make sure that you utilize that. And I got to tell you right now, the one thing that's been coming through very heavily is now that Jupiter is direct, everything has more horsepower. It's like when Jupiter is in retrograde, it's like suddenly it's like nothing that you can do. It's like everything requires like a monumental effort. And that's why I'm saying something that you were trying to do, try now. Because Jupiter's like direct, it's like everything's got the horsepower back. And so a lot of that work, like not letting yourself get frustrated, but really locking in right now, be gentle, because a lot of it feels like a lot. I feel like a lot of, like, the thing about it right now, and it has to do with the fact that we've got Jupiter direct at the same time that Uranus is in Taurus. Like it's like it's like board flipper energy. It's the kind of energy to be like, I don't want to do this anymore. Like it's like, I'm done. I'm going home. Like it's a lot of that type of energy. But if you just chill out, like just chill out, give it a minute. You've got enough room to navigate that frustration. Go take a walk. If you feel like checking out, go take a walk. Give yourself a minute, right? Because I'm telling you right now, like some of this energy here, this is like breakthroughs, right? Not breakdowns. Center card for today's spread is, we've got here, like, here it is. See what I said? And this is the thing. So I got to tell you, like, the Eight of Pentacles in its reversal, it's being the, like, the Eight of Pentacles in its reversal, it has a lot to do with the fact, I keep getting, it has a lot to do with the fact that Uranus is in Taurus. It's being the bonnet kind of energy. It is like that little thing that like bothers you and you're like, you know what I mean? Like it is itchy tag energy, right? It is something that would typically not be a big deal. And then suddenly it's all you can think about. It's getting on, it's under your craw. It's really, you know what they're really like, you know, like that type. I want you to recognize that's the vibe right now. Okay. So if you're feeling like that, remember, everybody's feeling it. You're feeling it. Just give yourself a minute. Don't project it out. Okay. Be focused on it. Be energetically intentional. Because again, sometimes when we are feeling, I'll put it this is the best way I want to describe this. Okay. Sometimes when we're frustrated, right? When we're frustrated and we walk away, we're not working. Something is percolating, right? And then we can see something from a different perspective. So give yourself that space and like go, if you're feeling like, go easy, right? Don't put as much force on things, because I'm telling you right now, I'm going to tell you right now, something, it's like the thing about this, something that would have taken a lot of effort before now is back to normal. So you don't want to come into that space where you put too much force on something and then it feels energetically unnecessary. For a lot of this, for the energy coming into divine union, this is the energy going, I have to heal something I couldn't see before. I just keep on seeing a lot of energy going, oh, because sometimes when we reach moments on our journey, we suddenly recognize that we need to heal for something that we couldn't see before. So I just keep on seeing that there's something about perception being everything, and something about the energy coming into this modality that they're recognizing an aspect of the self that they weren't even ready to heal until they came into this space, right? While for masculine and feminine energy, in separation, you can take all the time you need. I mean that, like, listen, I want to tell you right now, I'm going to keep saying the same things right now. These are the messages that we're up within divine union, coming down to the energy and separation. You are not a mess. You are a work in progress. A healthy journey is one that we are always that we have regret for things. Regret is a sign of a heart that is learning, right? We hold that regret sacredly because this is how we find wisdom. I always like to point out wisdom is hard knowledge. Wisdom is not the kind of knowledge you get in a book, because wisdom is understanding painfully earned, right? So when we have those moments that we regret, that is how we find the sacredness in things, because we hold on to them and say, right, this is why it's warrior energy, right? And that's why I see some energy that's already, like, I already see there's energy that's saying, I'm trying to let go. And the higher self is saying they already have. Because it's the energy that's almost in that space of saying, I'll never feel that way again. While the higher self says, yeah, you feel other things, right? The beauty of a universe that is ever expanding is the possibilities are endless. So I keep on seeing that for a lot of that energy. And I keep on hearing Scorpio is helping here, because Scorpio isn't saying, it's not about how you feel. It's about recognizing if the thing you feel is because it was ideal or whether you desired it to change. And if it was something that you desired to change, what is Scorpio going? Follow me this way. Can I show you something? Like, it's going, can I show you something? Maybe it didn't fit. Maybe the reason it didn't feel that way is because it didn't fit, right? Maybe the reason it didn't feel that way is because it wasn't a good fit. Fourth and fifth card. Gotta love Scorpios. They're so pragmatic in that way. Fourth and fifth card in our 5-card spread. We've got here our Queen of Cups. Yep, I'm not surprised to see this. This Queen of Cups in our 5 of Swords, and it's upright. So here's the thing about these Leo full moons. And I'm allowed to say this because I got a lot of Leo placements, okay? We can, like, when we're in a space where we're navigating with compassion, right? That's why when we, like, I need to point this out in a way that is, like, very, like, might be hard to hear. When you say you suck, that is also ego. When you say you suck, that is also ego, right? Like, that's the thing that I want you to recognize here. And I keep on seeing, be wary of the ego in disguise of the self that hates the self, right? Like, it's a lot of this, like, it's a lot of this, I'm going to take my ball and leave kind of energy. It's a lot of this, like, you know, like, I need to point out, ego isn't just the thing that goes, I'm the best. It's also the one that goes, I'm the worst, right? It's the I you have to be wary of, right? Like, it is the extremes. It is the hyperbole. This is the indulgence point that you have to be conscientious about. That's why I keep saying, like, this is a beautiful energy, but if you're leading a lot with I right now, you know, and they're like, and I need to say this, there's the I that comes from a space of authenticity, right? When we're speaking, we've all had those conversations where we have those hard moments that we talk about things that are difficult, right? And we love each other in those moments. But what often happens is when we come into those spaces where we either think, like, I need to point out, sometimes the energy that's like, I'm awesome and I suck, those are like kind of the same energy. Right? Because it's all about, like, it's all about, like, me, like, you know, it's like me, the same thing. It's like the ego, the unhealthy ego is the ego that dwells in the extreme, right? A healthy ego is one that's nice and easy. I told you, a nice even shield, nice and even. So when it's like, it's up here and it's like when it's too big, right? It's not good. When it's too small, it's not good. When it's just right, you're good, right? So it's a little bit like, that's the difficulty with some of this Leo, like, this is the indulgence that we need to be conscientious about when we got the combination force of Venus and Aries, like lead with love. We've got like the Uranus and Taurus. Something's bothering me, but it feels like extra. We've got Jupiter in its retrograde, like everything is louder. And then we've got Leo, like Leo moon, which is like me. So be gentle with yourself. Be gentle with how you feel. Honor that space and give yourself compassion, right? And because I feel like the thing to say is everything is a big deal, but it's also not a big deal, right? It's like it's understanding like the power, like I keep on getting it's warrior energy, because it is the idea of like moving with like the power of quiet strength, as it were, right? It's a lot of that type of energy. Continuing to get clarification between our 10 of Pentacles in its reversal and our 3 of Swords. Oh, that's interesting. Why that? I guess it's this card. All right. Yeah. A lot of this. Okay. So 4 of Cups in its reversal. So, I feel like, and this is everything I keep seeing for the energy and separation, because it really says to me, okay, there's something really important that I hear that's coming through for energy and separation, which is honoring the important journey that says, I didn't want to go in this direction, but I know I have to. Right? Working through the energetic disappointments of the self, right? It's heavy. We and I feel like that is something that's happening across all the frequencies, right? Like working in that context is when we're moving in the space of the higher self, we understand and we recognize that the higher self knows what's best. And, I keep on seeing that there's a lot of this energy and separation that is holding space for something that is hard to let go of, right? And that is also the energy that I keep on seeing says, I recognize that I don't have to let go of this, that it will always be with me. I'm trying to figure out how to hold it, right? And this is what we do. And again, like I need to point out that I can almost hear the higher self saying, yeah, the journey from me to you is you working on working through like that is literally what I hear the higher self saying to the energy and separation. That's the only thing that's why they're saying that it's requiring Aries energy to move forward right now. I told you there's no Aries is on vacation. So the courage it takes for energy and separation in a moment that says, like the higher self says, the energy and separation, we never let go of this. The journey between you to me is learning how we how we hold it. Like that is the journey, right? And I keep on seeing that energy say that journey is beautiful, right? Because it leads you to me. So I keep on seeing that that's a lot of that energy that's working through that and saying, like I told you, welcome to the Leo full moon. You just have to open your arms a bit wider. You don't have to let go of anything. You just got to open your arms a bit wider. While for masculine and feminine energy, like it feels a little bit more like looking back at the past. I feel like a lot of the energy coming into divine union is now working on healing the cringe that is occurring and looking back in past situations and seeing like those spaces of walking towards things that were not for them. This is why we keep on seeing like healing never stops. It's ever changing, because I told you right now, like I keep on getting this message that the energy coming into divine union, the sacred wound has become itchy. It's become cringe. It's like, oh, geez, like And that's why we say, like, you are cringe, but you are free, because when you're able to see your cringe, you recognize and say, like, the journey to the self is not one that you say everything was perfect. You go, oh geez, oh man. Like, it's a lot of that type of energy. While for masculine and feminine energy, deep within divine union, this is why this energy feels a bit like trying to, like, push your head in. Like, I see energy like wanting to, like, pound their head into a wall, because they're like, idea, idea, idea. Like, what can I do with this frustration? Like, trying to find new solutions to things, finding new ways to communicate, working through this. You do that gently, right? You can't force breakthroughs. You give yourself time, and you take lots of breaks. When you're working on something and you turn away from it, you never stop working on it. It's percolating. Like, it's all, like, that's the thing about it. And I see the energy within divine union being like, I don't want it to percolate. I don't want it to, I just want it to be ready. Continuing to get clarification between Three of Swords in combination with our Eight of Pentacles in its reversal. One card to clarify, please. Everybody's got a short fuse right now, and it's because Uranus and Taurus. Yeah, it's board flipper energy. It's, I'm gonna take my ball and go home. I know, I'll show them. It's, I don't want to do this anymore. Like, it's, and I'm gonna tell you right now, everybody's feeling it. Everybody's fuses, okay, went from here to here. Everybody's got like a little tiny short fuse right now. Okay? And that's how you're gonna deal with it. You're not the only one feeling it. It's everybody's feeling it. And when we're all feeling it, we don't project it out on others. Right? We don't project our short fuses on each other. We navigate those spaces. I keep on telling you, don't lash out. Lock in. Because I'm telling you right now that same feeling, and it's been a lot of conversations on force. And I keep on hearing the reason that there's conversations on force happening has something to do with the fact that that Jupiter and Uranus are so close to one another, because Jupiter going direct is like everything feels bigger, and then Uranus and Taurus is like, it's like that little thing, right? And so putting too much force on small things right now, I want you to be conscientious about that. Don't put too much force on something that takes a gentle hand. And the thing is that you have to be wary of is, because Jupiter was in retrograde, things required more force. Things required like more force before. And so now you might notice that something that requires force doesn't need as much force as it did before, right? Continuing to get clarification between our Eight of Pentacles in its reversal and our Queen of Cups. Okay. Six of Wands in its reverse, Swords in its reversal. Yeah, and this is the message. I love that this message is coming through right now in regard to the Leo full moon. I am amazing and I suck are the same energy. Like, it's like, I'm amazing and I suck are the same problem in different hats. It's like the same situation as it relates to when you're in that space of being like, I am the best at everything. No, no, chill out, right? Like, I am the worst at everything. You got to calm down a little bit. Okay. It's all about finding that balance point. I told you some things I need to keep on checking, because there's been a lot of messages happening right now with Leo and Libra, right? There's something coming through that something heavily is happening right now as it relates to Libra energy, which is, again, a balance. When you find balance of the self, it's usually not like I'm awesome or I'm terrible. It's like, I'm good. I'm good. I'm just fine. Right? I'm just fine. So I want you to, they're saying to me, one of the ways that can help with some of the drama of, like, cause it's a very dramatic, full moon, is like, find your fine. Right? Find what creates that balance, right? And it's going to calibrate different for everyone. right? Because the thing is, there's something about this there's something about this Leo full moon that like can get a little big. Like the indulgence is getting big on the extremes, right? And it's not nothing to say like, like I keep on hearing like, and that's why I keep on seeing the quiet healing conversations are going to be profound during this full moon cycle. I keep on hearing the quiet voice that is loud, right? The work in the space of intimacy, which is finding bravery. Like I keep on hearing like the bravery of a whisper, right? The bravery it takes to whisper something that is hard to say, right? Those deep intimate conversations. This is where a lot of this healing is going to come through on this full moon. But that's why you want to like at the same time you want to avoid anything that starts getting very hyperbolic or something that starts feeling very like I don't want listen to me. I'm just telling you right now. Okay? Remember I said this. No hyperbole right now. Absolutely no hyperbole going into this this like full moon Leo energy, because I'm telling you right now, we've got a Venus retrograde in Pisces right on the horizon, which could be, and the thing that makes me concerned is we've got like a lot of this big thing, and then oh no, right? So be conscientious about that. Like gentle force of strength, moving with focus. Don't do something energetically you can do something important, but make sure that's something that you had intention to, not something that you're doing from a place of frustration, or not that you're doing because like of that amplification of something that would typically not bother you, that feels like it's being cranked up to 13. Continuing to get clarification right now between our Queen of Cups energy and its reversal in combination with our Five of Swords in its upright. One card to clarify, please. Yep, Four of Pentacles in its reversal. So we're going to talk a little bit. So I keep getting this message is coming through, and it's actually interesting because this took me a minute to understand too. If you're like knocking over things right now, like there's a lot of things that are happening, that are potentially happening right now. That is like, I didn't realize how strong I was. Like I didn't know how fragile that was, right? And a lot of it has to do, I keep on getting that the messages, a lot of it has to do with the fact that Jupiter just came direct. And so something like, imagine that while Jupiter was in like Jupiter in retrograde was like strength training. So everything felt like it was making it like the smallest thing felt like it was a Herculean task to accomplish. And now Jupiter's direct again. And that's that moment where you're putting so much, like, it's a kind of goofball things where it's like you put so much force on something and it's like the door that pulls the opposite direction. Like it just flies off the handle kind of energy. So be intentional as to where you apply pressure or force to things right now, because you may, something that took like more energy might not require that right now. So just be conscientious of that. And so like because I keep getting it's slippery, but this is why it's slippery because it has to do with the fact of being used to something taking more effort, and now something's back to normal. And that's happening across the frequencies as well. Continuing to get clarification between our Four of Cups in its reversal in combination, man, these two together. Look at this, in combination with our Eight of Cups. And this has a lot to do with what we were discussing for a lot of the energy that is in separation. Right? Because I see some energy right now, and I got to tell you, I feel like there's some energy in separation that does not recognize, like if they don't recognize it, they've already moved into their manifestation. They've already moved into their manifestation. Because I see someone struggling with a point of saying, I can't let go of something and I don't want to go back to something. I can't let go of something and I don't want to go back to something. I can't let go of something, but I don't want to go back to something, which is often, like, I keep on hearing, reconciling the paradox of something that has caused us pain, right? This is how we carry trauma, right? This is this is, I see some energy like working, like already in a space that they're healing from something, because they're not saying I miss it, they're saying I hate this, right? Like, it's not that I miss it, it's that I hate this. Like, and again, this is what we mean when we talk about healing journeys, right? Like, this is what we talk about. Like, we express those moments of saying, yeah, that created frustration. It created rage, because I see a lot of energy saying, I really hoped that would be my manifestation. I really hoped, right? And that's why I kind of see that energy that says, you carry that hope forward. And that's why I keep on hearing for the energy and separation. This is why I feel like Scorpio keeps on coming in to try to save the day here by saying, was that everything you hoped it would be? Or are you mourning the reality? Right? Was it everything you hoped it would be? Or are you mourning the reality? Welcome to Pluto in welcome to Pluto in Aquarius during Aquarius season, right? While for masculine and feminine energy that is coming into divine union, this is why I keep on seeing that this is the energy that's like, it feels frustrating, because I see some energy wincing at the past. Like looking at something, understanding it in a profound way. And now, I see the energy that's recognizing that something about that journey in the past is one that's self-referential. Like, I see a lot of energy that says I've got notes for the past self. And when we have notes for our past self, we feel very cringe, right? We feel very cringe. We go, oof. But we also honor that past self, because we say those are the legs that carried us here, right? Like, bless that Aries energy that stumbled and fell, because were it not for those lessons, I would not find myself where I am today, right? That's why we say, again, it's looking back on the past and saying it's not perfect, but I understand, and I hold compassion for that energy. While for masculine and feminine energy right now, deep within divine union, this is why I keep seeing that for the energy coming like deep within divine union right now. This is all like, this is like, the thing about it right now is a lot of this energy right now, deep within divine union, is Aquarius and Aries energy, right? Like working really hard on trying to either find something new, think of something new, communicate in new ways. And that's why often, like, the thing with Aquarius and Aries energy together is it can be a lot of like, go, 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 go. Like, it's a lot of that, like wanting to rush through processes is what I'm seeing, right? Very little room for very, very little room for contemplation. And that's why I keep on saying, ease up, right? Because sometimes when we're pushing on something so hard, it's in the minute we ease up that we have that breakthrough. Continuing to get clarification between our 4 of Cups and its reversal in combination with our 8 of Cups and its upright. Can I get one card to clarify, please? Clarification coming through right now with, what did I say? Did I stutter? Did I stutter? We've got the Temperance card. When you want to go hard, go easy. Right? When you're feeling rushed, you got to slow down right now. You're going to thank me for this. Okay? Ease up. I don't listen to me. You don't understand. I'm not saying don't do anything. Do you understand what I'm saying here? I'm saying don't be so hard on yourself. Right? Sometimes the solution isn't working harder. Sometimes the solution is working smarter. That's what Aries and Aquarius energy contests with, right? Because Aries energy is like something's not working. We should just do it more and we should do it harder, right? Like it's like that's what Aries wants to do. We should do it again, the same exact way. Again, nope, nope. Like it's like throwing yourself, like you're trying to like do something like over and over again, right? And Aquarius is like, no, the solution is doing something different, right? So like it's a lot of this, like I just see a lot of energy struggling with like, I'll just do it again. I'll just do it again. Or should I just do something different? Should I do something different? So there may be a lot of work right now as it relates to the self. Could, and something I'm also seeing here, it's very interesting. The fact that Jupiter has gone direct right now, it feels like the way it should feel at the start of the year now, right? Which is like, it's actually giving me like resolution energy, like resolving on how one is going to change or what one is going to do differently or what one is going to do more right now. It's like we're finally in the energy that we would typically have expected to occur in January happening now. So they take that into consideration. While for masculine and feminine energy that is coming into divine union, I just keep on seeing a lot of this energy coming into divine union. This is why they're forgiving themselves. Like this is a lot of, I think I told you, Aries and Libra energy here. Because this is the energy that says, I understand something now that I didn't understand. And it's hard to see something from the past, but I also understand that person I was could not have known something, because sometimes we can't know things until we arrive at a certain level of understanding. So that's why I keep on seeing that a lot of the energy coming into divine union is working on inner child healing. And it's a lot of forgiveness, but it's forgiveness for the self as one continues forward. While for masculine and feminine energy right now, that is deep within or in separation, I just keep on seeing that for a lot of that energy in separation, this is the energy that is finding Aries in the future by being kind and patient to the self presently, right? Like a lot of that work or a lot of navigating that force of strength is being gentle with oneself and saying to oneself, I'm already in the process of healing. Because often in those moments that we realize that there is, I keep on seeing, I feel like there's some energy right now in separation going through that paradox of saying to themselves, I can't let go of something, but I can't go back to something, right? And that's the energy that goes, that's because I'm healing from something. Right? That's what happens. That's the realization we often receive when we say, I'm holding on to something I can't, nor do I desire to go back to. We say, I'm actively healing from it. Continuing to get clarification between our 8 of Cups in its upright in combination with our 6 of Swords in its reversal. Can I get one card to clarify? Clarification coming through right now with our King of Cups in its upright. And this is beautiful. I just want to show this to you guys. I just want to see this. We've got the combination force here today of the King of Cups and the Queen of Cups in its reversal. I'm not surprised to see these energies reversed, because we talk a lot about the fact that when we're in counterparts often can give each other things because they don't need to be in the same modality as one another. So I'm not upset to effectively see these the cards conjunct like this, because again, counterparts, like they don't need to be in the same space because they offer things that the other is not within. So I keep on seeing this here for masculine and feminine energy deep within divine union. I'm going to say it again. I would not be surprised if counterpart energies right now are giving each other a little space. Why? Because a bit of the journey that I see that's happening right now for a lot of the energy deep within divine union, masculine keeps doing something in the space of trying to come up with something new, so something that defies definition. I keep on seeing that there's something about this work right now that the masculine is working on, not defining the self, right? Like it's an expansiveness moment. Feminine, what I was reading for is the fact that a lot of the feminine energy, bearing in mind this is not based on gender, but what one feels most aligned to, is more in a space of trying to be definitive. Like masculine is expansive right now. Feminine's trying to lock in on something. So you can see that masculine is more in a space of leading with emotions right now, because this is the masculine that's like, this is where that vulnerability is coming from. Like, this is the masculine that's almost saying to themselves deep within divine union, the balance of my emotions is a gift that I give to myself and also to those around me, right? While feminine, this is feminine that feels like I keep on getting indications of feminine going into Queen of Swords, but I haven't seen the Queen of Swords coming up, because this is a lot of the feminine that's like, say, like, I see the feminine almost going, no time for feelings, like, no time for feelings, right? No time for feelings. The feelings aren't helpful. I'm trying to put the feelings in productive spaces, right? So masculine's trying to embrace their feelings right now, and feminine's trying to put their feelings in productive spaces. While for masculine and feminine coming into divine union, this could be bringing out different qualities and characteristics in masculine and feminine if they're coming into divine union. Because I keep on seeing that the understanding, like feminine's looking back at past versions of self if they've found counterpart, and saying, and looking, that cringe is the feminine looking at spaces and saying, look how I was trying to fix something that was outside of my ability to fix. Look at me trying to fit myself into a space to accommodate me that was clearly not for me. Look at me trying to make something happen that was not moving in the direction that I desired to move in, right? There's a lot of that feminine that may be feeling this could be feeling like more of a frustration sensation, because it could be creating a space of the feminine feeling very protective over the past version of self as the inner child, because that's the energy of the feminine that says that space of trying was one where the feminine was being forced not to be the person that they desired to be, right? Like, that's that energy of the feminine continuing forward in that lesson and remembering and learning as they move into divine union. A healthy relationship does not require one to disassociate in order to remain within it, right? While for masculine energy, I see a lot of the masculine energy that's healing from those spaces of regret wherein potentially they weren't in their authenticity. And again, what did we talk about? The veil, like the veil we create when the ego is too large. When we create that space of being who we think others desire to be, we're never our authentic self. And sometimes it feels like we're not living we're not embodying our journey. Because again, like when the ego is too big and the ego is trying to serve what others desire, it's like you're in an automaton, it's what everybody wants to see, but it's not you. So working through those spaces of inauthenticity, working in those spaces of those places where the ego may have effectively pushed you away from things that you desired, or something that you created for yourself that didn't feel like you were inhabiting it. This is a lot of the energy of the masculine that says, I learned to heal so it doesn't feel like being alive is an act of disassociation, right? While for masculine and feminine energy right now in separation, I keep on hearing that energy say, I don't want to let go. I already have, right? Like, as if this is the energy that is working through that paradox. Often we hit that moment of healing when we recognize that we're holding on to something, but we can't go back to it, right? That is either the space that we understand what that power of change is, right? Sometimes we hit those, and this is why some of that energy could feel very frustrating, because I just hear that energy saying, coming into a space of resolution, right? This is what we mean with resolution. Like, sometimes we have those moments that we experience that we say to ourselves, this is the commitment I'm making to myself to prevent myself from feeling this way again, right? I told you there's a lot of wisdom that's coming in right now for the energy and separation, but it's heavy, and it starts with the compassion of the self in the process. Continuing to get clarification between our Six of Swords in its reversal in combination with our Four of Pentacles in its reversal. One card to clarify, please. Clarification coming through right now with our magician in its upright. So I told you, resolutions. I keep on seeing that there's a lot of energy right now that is moving that feeling of energetic conflict into a force of change, right? Because when we feel those moments, right? When we feel those frustration points, when we have those moments that we recognize that we're holding on to something that we can't go back to, we move them into, I told you, they become the pillars, right? This is the resolution, the intention that's set that says, this is what I'm going to do. Like, I'm going to move this into the space of a valuable lesson. I'm going to move this into something that protects me. I'm going to move this into a space that empowers me. I'm going to move this into a space that I heal. I told you, let this wound become an altar, right? Let this wound, let this pain be something that I honor. And in the space of honoring it, I affirm my commitment to carry that lesson forward, to be able to find better as I proceed forward, right? It's heavy, right? But that ability of finding meaning is how we find ourselves in the process, right? So I just keep on seeing that a lot of that energy, like I told you, finding the courage, finding the Aries energy in the future. This is the energy that's taking that space and saying, I will always feel this way, but I will honor how I feel and set that intention and allow it to guide me forward. There's Aries just waiting down there. There's a lot of that courage coming through. While for a lot of this energy, there's a lot of this energy coming into divine union. Like, this is why I feel like this energy is working into new healing. Because sometimes you can't see something until you've received it. And that's why I see even now, it's not the fact that this is energy that's healed. It's energy that they're healing from things that they couldn't even see before. It's like, oh, that's the healing that's required has changed, right? While for masculine and feminine energy deep within divine union, I just keep on seeing that for a lot of it. I told you, this is the vibe I was telling you about. What are these two? This is Aries and Aquarius, right? This is a lot of that Aries and Aquarius that goes, maybe we should just do it again. Just do it again or do it different. I almost feel like, again, do it again or do it different is what I see a lot of energy that's working through, because I keep on seeing that is a lot of that energy deep within divine union that is, trying to have breakthroughs as it relates to learning something new, right? And often when we're trying to learn something new, we're like, do you do it again? Like Aries is like, do it, just to keep doing it again until you're better at it, or do you do things differently, right? Continuing to get clarification between our Temperance card in combination with our King of Cups and its upright. Can I get one card to clarify, please? Clarification coming through right now with the Ten of Cups and its reversal. It's not ideal. We've got double 10 cards right now. We got double 10 cards and 10 of Cups and 10 of Pentacles. Not ideal. Things aren't ideal. When are things ever ideal? I mean, ideal is an illusion, is what I'm seeing. And again, the space, like remembering, there's something really important that was coming through. It was coming through yesterday. It's coming through again today. I got to check out why. Nostalgia. Nostalgia, right? Pain fades. It's easy to get nostalgic on things, right? It's easy to look back on things and say, that was the sweet spot, right? Forgetting that journey forward, like ideal is always ahead of us. It's never behind us, right? And often, and we've all experienced this, like we have these moments that we look back on something and go, those were the days. I guarantee you some of those days that you're talking about, you might have been miserable in those days, right? Like we all go through these moments. It's very easy to wax nostalgic on the past because pain fades and pleasantness casts a sweet aura, right? So I just keep on seeing like this is why I feel like there's something about this. It feels like it feels like a Scorpio lesson, because it's remembering that nostalgia is nice, but it's also an illusion, right? Like it also like our ability to look back on the past, like hindsight is perfect, but it's also flawed because we forget how we felt in the moment. And so that's why I feel like there's something about this message that's helping energy and separation determine the difference between what it's easy to become nostalgic upon versus how one actually felt in the moment of experiencing something. We talk a lot about this when it comes to self-awareness, right? Because it's easy to, I keep on getting, it's like almost easy to forget that. But I also feel like that is the energy, like that is why I keep on getting that Scorpio is, it's actually funny because they're saying Scorpio is helping the energy and separation not forget whether something was ideal or not ideal in the moment, right? Like a lot of that, like a lot of that here, like Scorpio's helping, being like, ba, 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 ba. You know, it was like, it's not all sunshine and rainbows. Okay. It was like you gotta, and that's why I keep on saying, like, I almost hear the energy and separation going, okay, if you're gonna remember all the good parts, you also have to remember the bad parts. Like, that's why I feel like I see Scorpio in some way trying to help the energy and separation going, ba, 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 ba. If you're gonna remember the good parts, you also have to remember the bad parts. Okay. You gotta remember both. Like, don't forget this, both, like, don't forget. Right? Well, for masculine and feminine energy, right? But that's why I see even now, like if we hold on to something and go, I wanted that back, and being like, was it perfect? No. Were you happy there? No. Then but that was my manifestation. How do you know it was your manifestation? Did it look like it or did it feel like it? Welcome to Pluto out of Capricorn into Pluto in Aquarius. While for masculine and feminine coming into divine union, I just keep on seeing a lot of this energy going, I keep on hearing, you can't force what's for you. You can't force what's for you. You can't force what's for you. And this is the energy that has that understanding in the moment that they receive it. And suddenly then now they're looking back on their past and being like, and there's the story of all of the times I tried to force something that was not for me. Oh dear Lord. Right? Ooh, it's it's a lot of that. It's a lot of that type of energy. Well, for masculine and feminine energy, deep within divine union, a lot of this energy deep within divine union is coming into, I just keep on seeing a lot of that energy deep within divine union saying to themselves, I can't force a breakthrough. I can't force a breakthrough. I hear the energy and separation going, I can't trust nostalgia. I can't trust nostalgia. The energy coming into divine union is going, you can't force what's for you. You can't force what's for you. And the energy deep within divine union is going, you can't force a breakthrough. You can't force a breakthrough to the self, right? This is gonna amplify because, like, I'm just telling you right now, like the Leo full moons, man, they can be so beautiful, but it can get dramatic. It can get dramatic. Continuing to get clarification between our King of Cups and our Magician card in its upright. Can I get? I like these two together. One card, please. Well, there she is. Look at that. I was looking for her. Then she decided to show up right there. We got our Queen of Swords in its reversal. Okay, so we got to talk a little bit about this right now because this is having a different impact right now on masculine and feminine energy. Bearing in mind, this is not based on gender, but what one feels most aligned to. So this is okay, so there's something very interesting here that's happening as it relates to, I'm going to put it this way, as it relates to the feminine trying to get the emotions in the car. Okay, the best way I can describe this. The feminine energy trying to get the kids, like the feminine almost trying to take their feelings like the kids that you need to get in the car. And the emotions, like the emotions are all over the place. And you're like, like, and trying to get in the car, but not being mad at the self in the process, right? Like there's something about like the feminine energy right now working in the space of being like emotional, but like not, but also not like not trying to be like not trying to be like not trying to be emotional, not trying to be mean, like a lot of this like just like I don't want to raise my voice, but if you guys don't get in the car, you know, like it's that type of energy. Like get in the car. Like it's like that, right? Because you know, and this is, I think that this has a lot to do with, but with like and this is how the Leo full moon is going to help with this, right? Because the Leo full, like the Leo and like Leo energy is really good at like taking frustration and turning it into laughter. Okay? Like case in point, like working in that space of when you're feeling frustrated, like you move it into some place that feels like there's a lot of audacity and joy. I'll put it that way, right? So that ability of almost taking something and saying, how can I feel this in a way that it doesn't make me frustrated, but feel like this is actually, this is why, okay, this is good. This is why a lot of the feminine energy is working in this space right now, because I feel like this is the energy of the feminine that gets frustrated at the self because they can't control how they feel. But then it's almost like I see the feminine energy that says the work isn't to control how one feels. It's to control it's to control where you put it, right? Like there's a lot of, I told you this is where some of that Aquarian energy is, because it allows for that energy to be inventive, as it were. Like it allows for that space of being inventive in relationality, to finding new ways to communicate through frustration, right? I just keep on seeing this is why a lot of this, like it's giving me a lot of energy right now of feminine that is working on being inventive to a certain extent. While for masculine energy, and that's like welcome to Aquarius season, you know? While for masculine energy, I just keep on seeing that for a lot of the masculine energy, this is, I feel like there's something right now that's going on with masculine energy that feels like a desire to define the self, right? It's so easy. This is a lot of that work coming out of Pluto into Capricorn versus Pluto in Aquarius. You know, we don't need, we don't, I feel like there's a like an energy of reinvention around a lot of the energy of masculine right now. But a lot of it feels like a lot of reinvention, but also in combination with emotional integration, right? Because a lot of that, I almost hear a lot of the energy of masculine saying, I'm not the person I used to be, and that's a blessing, right? Like something about that work is identifying the fact that the masculine is not working so much as a need or desire to fit in, but more in that space of feeling the exuberance of like not defining, like of defying one's own definition of the self in the process. And that's happening across all, like it feels to me that's happening across all the frequencies, because that almost feels like the masculine that's learning how to become the self instead of trying to be someone that they're not, right? Final card for today's spread between our 10 of Cups in its reversal in combination with our Queen of Swords in its reversal. One card to clarify, please. There we go. I love it. We've got here our Page of Wands in its upright. So there's something really, I want to say, I feel like this full moon in Leo is bringing forth a lot of inner child healing, right? And that's why I keep seeing right now that the thing we have to be wary about is, and we can talk a little, we're going to talk a little bit about this now because it's important. Let's talk about what it looks like. Like, what are some of the challenges that Leos have to navigate through a lot of their journeys? A lot of the Leo journey has to do with attention upon the self. I've been talking about this a lot, both with clients right now and others who have Leo placements who are starting to feel this. You know, the thing about Leos that is interesting is Leos don't intentionally attract attention. Leos exist, and it's like, you know, it's like this often happens. Like there's a lot of the work of Leo has to be with what one does when attention is drawn to you, right? There's a lot of that work here. So sometimes this is why sometimes when we get like Leo full moons or a lot of work in Leo, it can feel complicated because they're often work in dealing with the complications of presence, right? And that's why I said even now, like the thing about some of this amplification energy that we're going to start to experience as we move closer to this full moon is remembering, I'm going to say it again, like I am the best and I suck are the same energy, right? Because again, it's that space of like navigating in hyperbole that we often recognize that we're focusing too much on the self, right? When we come into a point of balance, we don't try so hard. We just are who we are. And a lot of that work or journey of it doesn't require definition. It's almost like the journey of the self that just requires perpetual introspection, right? And that's fuzzy territory, right? That's something that, like, you know, there's always, if we're doing that well, there's always parts of the self that, like we said, like defy definition. Like that's what we move closer to. We're like, what's that? What's that? So a lot of that work that we're seeing right now, I feel like there's going to be a lot of inner child healing that may be coming up during this time. But that's why I also say the thing we always have to be wary about is inner child healing can also be the space that we can dwell too much on the hurt feelings. Remembering the difference between childlike and childish, right? Like childlike is observing from a place of wonder. It's observing from a place of compassion. It is those moments that we allow our authenticity to shine, our exuberance for the world and our hope, right, that runs eternal. Childish are often those moments that we articulate where the ego has been discovered and starts running rampant, right? It's those moments where, you know, we forget. Instead of looking around, it's like the eye that isn't open in the world around you, but the eye that turns too critically upon the self. And sometimes when someone is acting childishly or a child is acting childishly, it's because they've lost the empathy or they have not grasped the empathy in recognizing that others are experiencing things as well. So I would say, like, be very conscientious right now as it relates to having compassion, not only for the self, but also for those around you, right? And that doesn't mean that you have to go around and be a doormat to anybody, right? Like that doesn't mean go around and be a doormat, right? It doesn't mean that you get rid of the ego entirely, because getting rid of the ego entirely is the same thing as having an ego that's all the way up here. Like it's the same thing. Like it doesn't mean that you have to be a doormat for those around you, right? It doesn't mean you have to be that place of being perfect. It's about blessing and appreciating who you are, right? Allowing that authenticity of the space of not being perfect to be your force of perfection. So if you're feeling like this, like you are not a mess, you are a work in progress. You are getting stronger every day, and you are exactly where you need to be. It's a lot of this Libra energy. It's a combination of all the work that we've been seeing over the last year or so. Bottom of the deck on this reading. If someone is energetically trying to provoke you, do not indulge them. You know what I'm going to say right now, as I always say, if someone is not navigating this as well, intentionally or not, do not lower your standards to try to teach someone an energetic lesson. Because all you do when you try to lower your standards and teach someone an energetic lesson is you teach them that they just need to lower their standards to get you to behave in ways that are not in alignment to you, right? There's no teaching anyone a lesson, because in the moment that you teach someone a lesson, you have like recognized when you like lose, like if you teach someone a lesson and you move out of alignment with yourself, all you've done is show someone, I just need to be my worst to bring out the worst in you, right? So be mindful of that. Particularly, again, whether someone's doing that intentionally or unintentionally, we can build learning moments by setting the energetic standard. So I want you to hold on to that as well. That is our daily collective read for today. I want to thank you so much for being here and experiencing it. Just a reminder, if you would like to book a private reading with me, you can do so on my website. Please keep in mind, if you book a reading with me, it is a 2-step process. You have to book the reading, you have to pay for the reading. Please make sure you do both if you'd like to have that reading. Most importantly, please remember that I will never, ever, 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 ever reach out to you for a private reading. I will never DM you. I will never PM you. I will never slide into your inbox and tell you that I have a very important message that only I can deliver. The only place you can book a reading with me is on my website. And if you want to follow me across the other social channels, please go to my tree that has links in it in my bio to make sure that you're actually following me, as I recognize there are many accounts that pretend to be me. Also, a couple of updates before we move into personal readings today. First and foremost, thank you to everyone who was in our recent class on the Hermit card. Our next class will be held on Wednesday, February 19th at 6 p.m. PST, 9 p.m. Eastern. We will be continuing our studies into the tarot with a focus on the Wheel of Fortune card. I'm very excited to teach this class. It might be a 2-parter. It's a very intriguing card. We're going to talk about the symbology of the card, the history of the card. I'm going to walk you through spread applications. I'm also going to give you a unique spread that you will take back with you from that class. And all you need to do if you would like to become part of that tarot class program is become a paid subscriber to my Substack. Your monthly subscription to my Substack is your ticket of entry into our live classes each and every month. As a monthly subscriber, you will also have access to the tarot, over 9 hours worth of material in the Tarot Church Library. Now, it's not necessary to catch up. I'll be doing my best to give a recap on everything that we've studied in each class, but the library is there for you to access if you are in need of it. You'll also have access to a one-on-one chat with me and the other students to ask any questions that you may have in relation to anything that we've learned thus far. And if you become a founding member to my Substack, not only will you receive a discount on the full year's worth of classes, you will also have full access to the entire Tarot Church Library, and you will also have access to a complimentary one-on-one mentorship class with me, if you prefer, where I will assess where you are on your own personal tarot journey and give you the best insights in terms of how to utilize those classes to the best of your advantage to meet your personal tarot goals. One of the things I tried to do in these classes was make them accessible to the absolute novice tarot reader as well as the seasoned reader. There's definitely something there for everyone. Don't let your lack of experience or your robust experience stop you from attending. If you are a subscriber over on the Clock app or over on the place where we keep the videos, I would also encourage you to head over to our subscriber-only Discord channel that is available to you as a subscriber or member. There you will find a special coupon code that will give you an additional discount to that Substack subscription. And even if you don't become a paid subscriber to my Substack, I would strongly encourage you to follow me there to stay up to date on any new offerings and services. I also post my weekly newsletter there, which will let you know about my in-person events as well as my online live schedule. Finally, I want to let you guys know that on top of my standard life path readings, I also offer mentorship classes. These are for any of my clients that are seeking a more personalized educational experience with me. I take a very limited number of students for this reason, as those classes are focused on each individual's personal development goals and spiritual journey. Those classes can be purchased on an individual level or as a monthly class series, weekly or bi-weekly as your schedule permits. Also, for my clients that are seeking more consistent weekly tarot support, I'm very happy to offer weekly tarot insight packages. That is a package of 4 30-minute readings, again, weekly or bi-weekly as your schedule permits, so that you can stay more consistent on your personal journey. And I'm now also offering dream interpretation readings. You can purchase them on an individual level or as a package. I ask that if you purchase them as a package, that you make sure to start to keep a dream journal, as we will meet weekly or bi-weekly to review your dream journal and then utilize the tarot to understand the key themes and messages coming through the dream space. I want to thank you guys so much for being here today and sharing in these messages, and we will do this again tomorrow.